Welcome into the Titans today. I'm your host, Brett Alper. Yes, I now have a name badge. How about that? On today's show, we're going to be talking about Cam Ward. On Monday, he absolutely shined at his pro day. Check it off. It's a lock. Make the money line minus 10,000. This man is for sure going to be the number one overall pick. And it's because of how great he looked at Miami Pro Day. Now, his teammate, Xavier Restrepo, not so hot. But we're going to break this all down. But first, I got to ask you, if you want Cam Ward to be a Titan, if you want him to be the first overall pick when it's late April, go ahead and like the video. Like this video because Cam Ward absolutely shined. And we're going to break it all down for you. So CBS Sports' Ryan Wilson, he wrote this on how Cam Ward performed at his pro day. Ward showed off an arm that's better in person than it is on tape. A quick release that has the ball explode out of his hand with such velocity that it seems like an optical illusion. And the touch on intermediate and deep throws that consistently found their targets, often in spots where only they had a chance to make a play on the ball. Now that is extreme glazing, but I just got to say, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. It's over. If you remember that great moment from Vince Carter saying, it's over, he won. I think after that one, we can all say that Cam Ward is going to be the number one overall pick. I mean, if you shine, if you look that well at your pro day, that just shows, hey, I'm ready to be the number one overall pick. I am the clear-cut best player in this draft, best quarterback in this draft. And for the Titans, now they still have that chance to trade back, which I really don't think they're going to at this point. We saw yesterday with Russell Wilson signing with the New York Giants that it's probably not going to happen. There's not going to be another trade candidate. I really don't see if there's another trade candidate going down. So I would expect the Titans to keep that number one overall pick and take Cam Ward. And Cam Ward said this: I told them I was solidifying it today, meaning I was solidifying being the number one overall pick. They finally got a chance to see me throw in person, talking about the Titans, and I'll get another chance hopefully to throw in front of them. But that's a good building they have in Tennessee, a good supporting staff. I was just happy to throw in front of them for the very first time. And I will tell you guys, Mike Borgonzi and Brian Callahan were happy, and it was reported that they were smiling to the whole time while they were at Pro Day. Now, the Titans, they brought the whole organization, whole coaching staff to his pro day. The Browns, they only brought a few people. So it's starting to be clear as day that he's going to be the number one pick. And it's starting to be clear as day that Cam Ward wants to be a Titan. He talks about him more than any other team. He's shown that he's just a perfect fit for this entire roster. And there was a lot of talk at the pro day. When he was constantly throwing, there was one moment where you saw, and he went on a bootleg throw, and right when he let the throw go, and it was a completed pass, he stared down Mike Borgonzi and said something to him. And obviously, it was just funny, little banter, just going back and forth, just enjoying the moment, showing like, hey, you see what I can do? Yeah, you know I can be your quarterback. You know it. And then later, after he was done working out, he was talking to Brian Callahan and Mike Borgonzi. This man is showing that he wants to be a part of this Tennessee organization. And he also said this at his pro day, from the president, Mr. Chad, to Mr. Mike, to Mr. Dave. It's all been good, especially with Coach Callahan. I think what he does offensively suits me from what I did in Miami and at previous stops. The terminology is not that big of a difference. He gets his guys open. He calls great plays. I just think if I get a chance to play with him, we'd have a really good outcome. This just tells me he's just pleading his case to just be the face of this franchise, being the face of the Titans. And he's talked about it multiple times. He talked about it on his pro day, and he also talked about it all the way back a couple months ago at the NFL Combine. He said it, that he would be an absolute perfect fit for this Titans team, and he's experienced it over and over again.
I think I know a decent amount. I was able to watch a couple of their games this past season. A lot of their route concepts are similar to stuff that we do. So if I'm drafted there, I just think it'll be plug and play. We had good interactions. Myself with Coach Callahan, the quarterbacks coach, and also the GM. It's a great staff they put together. They got unbelievable players. So I just hope that God puts me in a good situation.
And I also think that just his pro day was the absolute deciding factor on the number one overall pick. If he struggled, then there might have been an opportunity for a guy like Abdul Carter and even maybe Travis Hunter to be the first pick in the draft. But from what you heard from CBS Sports and what you've seen out of him, he's confident. He's calm, cool, collective. He is just that guy that he knows that he's the best talent in the draft, and I think this solidifies him being the number one overall pick. And Brian Callahan said this at
I think I know a
his pro
decent
day.
amount.
His tape
I
is
was able to watch a
excellent. He's a really good player. He kind of just confirms it. You get to see the ball come off his hands, and you get to see his footwork, see his body, see how the ball travels. Those are all things you like to see in person. That you get to see it in person. You saw what you saw on tape, and now what you get to see in person, like that cements it. And that I've been saying for months now. Cam Ward is my for sure number one overall pick. You can't go with anybody else. You just absolutely cannot. And we're going to get into a lot more, and I'm not the only one that thinks he's the number one overall pick. We got a lot of mock drafts that have talked about it, and we're going to get into that. But first, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor of today's show, and it's our friends at Fanatics. You can get Titans hoodies up to 60% off. Chatsports.com/Titans hoodies. You get a nice one like that. You get this. And what helps us with this is if you buy one using the link chatsports.com/Titans hoodie, it supports the channel. If you want to support me in the channel, go on and buy these Titans hoodies, and you can get them, like I said, up to 60% off. Chatsports.com/Titans hoodies. If you don't want to type it all out, don't worry. We're going to have that for you right in the comments of today's video. So one more time, chatsports.com/Titans hoodie. All right. So now I said he was my number one overall pick, Cam Ward. Well, if we look at ESPN Mel Kiper's and NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah, well, they have the same four picks, but that number one spot, Cam Ward and Cam Ward. So both of these guys who were very credible, I mean, it's Mel Kiper for crying out loud. He has Cam Ward going number one. Daniel Jeremiah has Cam Ward going number one overall. Every single person has Cam Ward going number one overall. It's clear as day, man. I mean, for me, if Mike Borgonzi and Brian Callahan have a chance to bring the culture back to Tennessee with Cam Ward, you have to draft him. You can't go with Brandon Allen or Will Levis. You cannot do that. You can't just say, oh, we improved the roster a whole bunch in every other aspect of the game, but you need a quarterback. And they've said it after Pro Day, nothing is guaranteed. There's still an opportunity if someone calls. I think that's all smoke. And if we look at just what they've done to help this team, I mean, you look at their free agent signings. You signed Dan Moore to an $82 million deal. You signed Blake Hance. Mike Borgonzi went into this offseason and said, okay, we are improving our offensive line. And we are focused right on that. Kevin Zeitler, veteran. And then they didn't go out and get a veteran quarterback. They got a backup with Brandon Allen. You don't do that if you don't think that you're going to draft a quarterback at the number one overall pick. You don't revamp your entire offensive line if you aren't looking for a new quarterback. Because we saw Will Levis get benched. He's not going to be the quarterback in 2025. It's going to be Brandon Allen or it's going to be someone else. And guess what? It's probably going to be Cam Ward. And yesterday, Adam Schefter tweeted this out. Tennessee will hold an additional private workout with potential number one overall pick Cam Ward. The Titans have become increasingly impressed with Ward, and while they're expected to listen to offers for the number one overall pick, it would now take an even stronger package to acquire the draft's top selection. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they know who they're picking. They know who they're drafting, and they know who their quarterback is going to be. It's going to be Cam Ward at the number one overall spot. So before we go, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you want the Titans to draft Cam Ward? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. I better see all of those whys in the comments section. Also, as always, don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/Titans Today. We're having coverage all throughout the offseason, and we're ready less than a month away from the draft. And as always, tighten up.